Contract deferred, getting paid until the day I die. Money coming in, but not one at bat, not one pitch, not one strike. Being deferred is where it's at. Deferred.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Podcast Name Deferred. I am your host, Seven. I gave everybody else the week off this week, and part of the reason is because of what I'm going to talk about tonight. Part of the reason is because today's just been a bad mental health day for me all around. Just going to be honest with you. Work was stressful, got a lot on my plate. It's just been a day. So I didn't really have it in me, just to be honest, to make sure I was prepared for a full show. And I know the guys and girls wanted to be with me, and we'll resume normal programming next week. And Ando, I see you in the chat, buddy. I appreciate you. In April of 2025, shortly after a series called The Clubhouse premiered on Netflix, a fan in Cleveland, Ohio, at a Red Sox and Guardians game, told Jarren Duran he should unalive him. He should have unalived himself. If you have not watched The Clubhouse on Netflix, I will tell you objectively, not just because I am very admittedly an open Red Sox fan, but just in general, Netflix hit it out of the park with that. And I would love to see them do this with other teams. The Clubhouse is for baseball what Hard Knocks is for football. But honestly, I think it's better. In this series, Jarren Duran talked about his mental health struggles and in the fact that in 2022, during the season, he was about to unalive himself. So this fan making these comments after the series comes out is horrible. The Guardians organization and the MLB take quick action, and that individual is banned from all baseball parks. For those of you that are not aware, every baseball park for Major League Baseball has facial recognition, and they are working it into the AAA and AA ballparks where they can. The nicer facilities probably have it. The spring training ballparks have it. If you get banned from a Major League Baseball, if you get banned from all Major League Baseball games, you're not going to be able to go. Because if you get caught in a ballpark, they will arrest you and you will face charges. They don't play around with it. People that are banned and aren't welcome back. Last night, during the Twins Red Sox game, during the 6th inning, a Twins fan said the same phrase. The league said today, the Twins organization said today, they're investigating, and this person will face the same fate because they can't just use that facial recognition software to detect people in the park. They can figure out who you are using it. It's amazing technology. And as a result, that person will be found. They will be banned and they will never be able to go to a baseball game again. Think about that for a moment. Somebody that loves baseball. Never again. You watch it on TV, can't stop you there. But you're never going to get to go to a professional baseball game again. That would devastate me. But I truly love the game. I respect the game. And then I saw the comments made by Jarren Duran after the game when he was asked about it. Because the fans said this and he flipped him off. So there's a conduct thing there, and the league can technically punish Jarren Duran for that. So let's leave that. It is what it is. I don't think they're going to. Understandable situation, and the problem exists more because of what the person said than anything else. But it is still possible he faces at least a small fine, which I think was all it would be if they were going to do anything. He was asked about the comments, and his response was, it's my fault for talking about my mental health. I kind of brought on all the haters. And that just broke me. Now, Alex Cora, manager of the Red Sox, did say that the team was behind him. They had full support, and they were going to make sure that the person was punished. So, and to that, Alex Cora is a player's coach. He truly is. He's one of my favorite coaches in Major League Baseball because of how he runs his team. And I can't thank Alex enough for making sure that JD knows he's supported through everything. This is where it's going to get a little sweary. So for those of you that are offended by those things, I apologize. This is a subject that I feel very passionately about. If you guys are interested in any of the other works that I have, I used to do a podcast called First Generation Dad, where I exclusively talk about parenting and mental health. I have complex PTSD. So when we have somebody that is attacking mental health like this, it's a very personal issue for me. And the thing that pisses me off most of all is that we have made another man feel bad about talking about his mental health. The fact that we are in the state of the fucking world that we are today, where a man cannot talk about the fact that he is fucking struggling, is beyond me. And to anybody that thinks that it's okay to act like that, go fuck yourself. Now, the person that I was 10 years ago when I used to be a much angrier person would have loved to see some street justice happen to you. I'm not going to lie. Thankfully, I'm a better person today. I just don't want you around baseball. You'll make everybody else suffer long after that. You won't have anybody you can rely on, and your mental health will tank. It may take time, but it's going to happen. Loneliness has a way of doing that to people. It's crazy how it happens. And you're going to think back to that moment because you're going to know where it started. When you made a stupid comment and got somebody banned and got yourself banned from baseball. Your friends see what kind of person you are. It's not funny. It's not a joke. Men's mental health matters. Men's mental health matters. There's no other way to put it. And if you think it doesn't, then try to find me another reason for there being a direct correlation between a lack of emphasis and a complete disrespect to men's mental health and the fact that a majority of murderers, serial killers, sexual assaulters, they're all male. All of the issues that cause those things stem back to mental health issues. Think about that for a moment. The lack of emphasis that we have in this fucking country on men's mental health is baffling to me. Because we have literally created the villains in our world that take away our children, that take away our family members, that take away our safety. Because we think men should rub some dirt in it and walk on. And I'm fucking sick of it because that is not what this world should be about today. We are in a far better place with access to resources and technology than we were 30 years ago. Well, I firmly believe that if we had had an emphasis on men's mental health from the beginning of this society, we wouldn't have the problems we have today. At every point that we have had the opportunity to make this change and we don't. And so men become alcoholics and they become abusers and they become people that harm their family and the world. And all we can say is, where did it go wrong? I don't justify any of those actions, but every single one of those individuals had a tipping point. And there was a litany of places along the way where proper mental health support could have stopped it in a majority of the cases. I'm not going to claim all of it. I'm not stupid. Some people are just fucking crazy. But a lack of emphasis on mental health also makes people fall for things and into things in their environment that they wouldn't otherwise be. My wife's been watching a lot of series recently on cults and people getting out of cults and cult justice and all of this other stuff. And people always wonder, how do those things happen? And my wife and I talked about it. Lost and lonely people that find somebody that's a charismatic narcissist that gets them at that right moment. And they get hope that they won't feel lost. These are people that with proper mental health support and proper environments, a majority of them would not have gone down that path. Think about all of the things today that would have not been an issue or would have been far less of an issue if we had prioritized mental health. One of the things that they talked about in the clubhouse with Jarren Duran was in his recovery and his growth and going through therapy. One of the things that he does is he has right. If you go watch a Red Sox game, he has white tape on his wrists. One side says "fuck him," written in Sharpie. He's got a little star in place of one of the letters. I believe it's in place of the U. And then the other wrist it says "still alive." And clip this. Jarren, thank you for being alive. Thank you for sharing about your mental health and giving us a reference point, another reference point for why men's mental health is important. Not just for the common person. We've got to respect the mental health of the performers that we elevate onto these pedestals in this country. Jarren, it would be a dream of mine to be able to spend some time talking with you one day, on or off camera. I get to see you play live. It's a legitimate dream of mine. I wish that I had the platform that you do because I would not shut up about men's mental health. Hey, how do you feel facing Sonny Gray today? Nope. Well, luckily I take care of my mental health as all men should. So it's just another day at the ballpark. All of it. Every time. And I know that that's hard for you. So I'm not trying to disparage you on that in any way, shape, or form. So please don't think that I am. But please, I challenge you to continue to use your platform and to be obnoxious about it. Because one day people will listen. This world needs more people like you, Jarren Duran. For those of you that don't know, you can see that I'm wearing my City Connect Red Sox jersey. And this is the first jersey I got when they were very much brand new, because these are a new thing. And this is a Jarren Duran jersey. And I picked Jarren Duran because with my passion for talking about mental health related issues and him being so amazing and opening up about his experience, I wanted to make sure that I supported that. And it really bothers me that we are in this place in this world where we send men off to war, but they're not allowed to struggle with what they had to deal with. And then we wonder why these men end up homeless, drunk, addicts. The skeletons in those closets rattle, and that noise gets to be fucking deafening. And when you find something that quiets that noise for a while, guess what? It becomes a very important thing, because that noise doesn't stop. And maybe that those skeletons in their closet isn't bad things. It's just things that they saw. It's memories, bad things that are sitting there that they can't open up and deal with. Because if they do, they are weak. I know a lot of veterans. I know a lot of people in combat veterans. And I wish that they were allowed to be human, because they spent so much time being fucking superheroes that people forgot who they really are. And Jarren Duran, you spend 9 months out of the year where a lot of what you do is under camera. Don't feel bad for being human. I'd have done a lot worse than flipped him off. To those of you who think it's not bad, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to tell you, you're part of the fucking problem. Men's mental health is a big deal. It's time that we redefine the phrase "be a man." Because until we do, as a society, as a country, not a goddamn thing's going to change. We need to get rid of the stigma. And if we can change "be a man" to mean you take care of your mental health and you process your struggles and your emotions. We ask men, in more often than not, even in today's society, men more often than not are the leaders of their homes. One of the reasons why I chose the name First Generation Dad is I came from a home where I did not have a true male example consistent in my life. And I became a husband and a father, and that weight is a lot. And when you haven't had a guide on how to carry it, the weight is even heavier. So many of these men, especially with how common divorce rates are now, so many of these men come out of broken homes with no example. But we expect them to not be human. What's up, Brandon? For those of you who don't know, I was on a show with Brandon earlier, Sports Nuts. They are great. Those guys are amazing. I love getting to work with them. When you get a chance, check them out, please. It would mean the world to me. We have to change that definition. One of the things that we, with what I talked about earlier, with what Jarren Duran does, fuck him, is still alive. What if this year for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, which is June, because very few people know, what if for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in June, we showed support for Jarren Duran and men's mental health? Some white athletic tape. On one wrist, you write "fuck 'em." You can put a star for one of the letters. Jarren does. There's nothing wrong with that. And then "still alive" on the other one. Why not? Why not do something that's noticeable for once? Why not do something that can actually stimulate a conversation? And the people that get uncomfortable about it, if it's because you're struggling with those issues, you don't want to communicate it, everybody should know about the website psychologytoday.com. You can find a therapist that takes your insurance that quick. I've used that site multiple times. But if it's because of your own struggles, that's one thing. I hear you. You'll get to that point. It's taken a lot of work to me to get where I can talk as openly as I do about my issues. I have ADHD, bipolar 1, and complex PTSD. For those of you that don't know. These are things that I battle with every day of my life. I take medication. I have coping skills that I utilize. And some days, like today, not a good day. I took my medication. I did all my exercise, and guess what? It didn't work. We all have days like that, though. And we have to start having that conversation so that people don't feel alone. People don't feel like they are a bad person for sharing their struggles. So if we all walk around and have something that makes sure we can have that kind of intentional conversation, maybe we can make a fucking difference. If you're going to be going to a game this year where your team is facing the Red Sox, or if you're a Sox fan, do it for Jarren. Do the same thing. And show him if you can. Show that support for a man who spends 9 to 10 months out of the year where the camera is on almost everything he does every day that he's working. And show him that it's not his fault. He doesn't deserve the haters. And show everyone around you that you know men's mental health matters. Mental health matters because it's not just about men. We still have to take care of the women too. We need to be more intentional about mental health. And until we are, not a goddamn thing's going to change. And I know I said that earlier. I'll probably say it again before we're done today. The fact that we keep having to have this conversation angers me. Because we shouldn't have to. I grew up in a church. It was a Southern Baptist church when I was a kid. And I went to an Assemblies of God church when I was in high school. And I'm not super religious now. But I still have my faith. And I went through a moment when I was younger where it wasn't a crisis of faith. It was a seeking to understand. So I dove into the Word, did research on other faiths. And I kept coming back to Jesus. For the simple fact that Jesus's message was simple. Be a loving person. Don't judge. Have faith, not religion. And love your neighbor as yourself. And as I understood that, my mindset started to change. Like I said earlier, I used to be a very angry person. I was very emotionally unstable. There's people that have known me for over 10 years that will just go, yeah. It's not something I'm proud of. My mental health wasn't being taken care of appropriately. And as that part started to sink in, my mindset started to change. Because when you strip away all the doctrine, the pomp, and circumstance, which to me, it's a lot of religion, the message is very clear. Don't be a dick. Be a loving person. Don't judge. Be a difference in the world. Love those that people refuse to love. Take care of those who need help. And don't do it to look good. Do it because you're a loving person and it's the right thing to do. That's what I believe. That's why I don't hate anyone anymore. I let go of a lot of things with that. That's why I make jokes about the Yankees. I'm a Red Sox fan. It's in our doctrine. But I also hosted a podcast for almost a full year with a guy that used to play for the Yankees. And I miss that man terribly because he was an amazing person and so fun to work with. I have friends that are Yankees fans. I have a coworker and I go host karaoke on Friday nights. She's a Yankees fan. She's also one of the best servers in the building. So I buy her a drink every once in a while just to make sure she's enjoying herself enough that she sticks around. She's smart enough to be doing a lot better things. But I'm thankful that she's there because good servers bring in customers, and I don't like DJing to an empty room. I don't hate. But people like this make me understand why people hate. And sorry. I don't hate. But sometimes I understand why people do. And there's always going to be hate in the world. I know that. There shouldn't be. It's so much of a heavier emotion than love. It's so much more intense and just restricting. But it flows through our world. Now, I want to say this in closing. I've got a couple of things I'm going to throw out real quick before we wrap up. I want to say this in closing. To the person that said that to Duran in Cleveland last year and in Minnesota yesterday, I don't hate you. I think that you need to understand one of the core principles, if you were just trying to be funny, one of the core principles of comedy is it's subjective. Just because it's funny to you doesn't mean it's funny to anybody else. And if you had been transparent about your struggles and somebody was rubbing them in your face, you would be a very angry person about it too. So put yourself in their shoes. And to those two individuals, you ever want to talk about mental health? Send me a message. On the PND Facebook page, you can go to the First Generation Dad Facebook page and send me a message. I'm not going to attack you. Just want to talk. Learn about you. Understand. That's all. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to encourage you, show you love, and I just want to understand. To Jarren, you always have a seat on my show. Whenever you want. We can talk baseball. We can talk mental health. We can talk race cars, fixing that Bronco that you had. I'm actually kind of interested in the Bronco. It was a cool looking Bronco. Whatever you want. And to the rest of you that see this, it is important that you share this message. I would love for you to share the video, or at least share the message. Continue the conversation because it's important. And I'm sick of people pretending it's not. I'm sick of social media companies nerfing and shadow banning mental health content. It's a very important subject matter. When I used to do videos on TikTok that focused on mental health, with one exception, I struggled to get over 100 views. I usually break 100 views on the morning minute before noon. And that's if I post it after 9 o'clock. I post mental health is more important than baseball. It just is. Mental health is more important than whatever the Kardashians are talking about. Whatever the Republicrats and the Democrats, whatever they're all arguing about, it's not as important. Mental health is the most important topic that we should be discussing right now. Because unless we take care of our mental health, everything else that we're dealing with in the world isn't going to matter. Because we're going to fuck it up, or we're going to struggle our way through it, get lucky, and we're going to keep on that same path. And that's not fair to anybody. So please keep the conversation going. And before we wrap up today, a couple of things I wanted to throw out real quick that are actual news-wise. Ronaldo Lopez had appealed his suspension for the fight. It got dropped down to 5 games. Soler appealed his suspension and got dropped down to 4. So they'll start serving those shortly. Also, today was Jackie Robinson Day. And that's another reason why mental health is important. Think about what Jackie went through. I can't begin to understand how he felt. I'm not going to claim to. Not going to claim to understand how he felt. But imagine the weight that was on his shoulders. And imagine the difference it would be if we cared about the mental health of Black men. Not just then, but now. Black community, when it comes to Black men and mental health, is fucking horrible. Not saying anything directly to anybody else, but it is a very toxic response more often than not. And that's what I've learned from friends that are Black. Jackie Robinson made a statement. Jackie Robinson changed the game forever. And so to those, his surviving family members, Jackie was actually one of the first baseball players that I ever did a report on. And it was, a hero. He was one of my sports heroes. Because I love it when somebody can do something amazing and make an impact. And because of how much I love baseball, somebody like Jackie Robinson is definitely going to be a hero of mine. There's others, sure. But Jackie changed the game in a way a lot of people couldn't. He was the right person to do it at the right time. It should have been sooner, but he was the right person to do it at that time. And so to all my fellow baseball fans, happy Jackie Robinson Day. And Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, probably going to be starting rehab assignments within the next week or so. By the 1st of May, they'll be back in the Yankees rotation. That is going to be the nastiest rotation of baseball. And don't forget that I said that, because when I'm right, you're going to be like, oh. And tonight I want to close with this. Shohei is pitching tonight in the game for the Dodgers versus the Mets, but he's not in the lineup. He's not hitting. He is just a pitcher tonight. And I find that really interesting. I'm going to be interested to see if we get an explanation for why. Wonder if maybe he's just not up to hitting right now. Something's up. He needs a break. But yeah, no, I thought that was kind of interesting. He did not hit tonight. He was just pitching. So yeah, there you go. I'll have the morning minute up in the morning. I will do some clips of this show. May get one posted tonight. Probably not going to be until tomorrow though. And we'll be back to normal next week. We got some good things on the horizon that we're working on to just continue to grow and share the amazing game of baseball. So for those of you that are here, that are watching, for those of you that watch after, for those of you that catch the episodes on streaming services like Spotify, thank you. I appreciate your support. Please make sure you have the Facebook page liked and followed so that you can get updates on information. I also post the Morning Minute there every day, so it's a good way to stay up on it. And, please share this out. It really helps. I don't ever expect to make any money at this, but if I could just see more people watching, that would be cool. So thank you for your support. I appreciate every single one of you. And you guys have a good night.